If anything that we've learned in the last month is that we are hearing voices that we have not heard before.
After a student-led campaign, the St. Paul School Board decided to remove 7 school resource officers from their high school buildings.
Some interactions in our communities cause trauma on our students from the police departments.
The decision led to a flood of social media comments on our pages, ranging from some calling it a long overdue decision to other parents asking things like who will be there to protect your children.
It really is a shame to hear about St. Paul. That's actually where our national office was located up until 2011.
Mo Kennedy runs the National Association of School Resource Officers and worked as one himself for 12 years.
It's the epitome of community-based policing, where officers are actually in that school environment as a part of the team.
But after George Floyd's killing by police, districts are reevaluating whether officers should be a part of their team. So far in Minnesota, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Winona have all voted to remove school resource officers. And we can tell you that petitions are circulating in Bloomington and Duluth. The issue has come up in nearly every state so far, with many opponents saying that school resource officers lead to racial disparities in punishments or arrests. In Portland, Oregon, the superintendent said the money would be better spent on direct student supports. But without school resource officers, districts will need to develop safety plans that might at times still require an outside patrol officer to respond.
Someone who doesn't necessarily have a relationship with the school district, certainly not the way an SRO does. And I believe it's going to be much more likely to end in an arrest.
Danny Spiewak, KARE 11 News.
The U.S. reached a grim milestone today.